Hey guys, well then today I'm back with another tutorial. So in this episode we're going to be creating an enemy. In this episode we're only going to be focusing on the function that's going to create and set up the actual enemy. Right, so first of all what you want to do is go in your preloader class and I have left a link in the description to an image of a bird which is going to be our first enemy. So once you put that in your assets folder, and then you go in your preloader class, you can actually load in the bird image. So the way we do that is this dot load dot image bird ID of bird, and then the path is assets bird.png. Right, and that's all done. You can go in your level 1 class, and we need to set up an actual function up here. We're just gonna name it enemy bird. I should probably make the text bigger. There we go. We're gonna say enemy bird equals function, and in the parameters we're gonna have an index, which is going to be the index of the current enemy. I'll get into that later. Then we need a reference to our game, and then we need an x and a y value of the actual enemy bird. Then we do open brackets. Then next. We can actually get started. So first of all we want to create a bird object. So the way we do that is this dot bird equals game dot add dot sprite, and then we can set x and y and then the ID of bird. So this variable will now be global to our classes. I'll get into that into a later episode, but for now all you need to know is that this is a global variable. Next, we need to set the anchor of this sprite. So this dot bird dot anchor dot set to. I'll set that to the middle. Next, we need to make the bird have a name, so we can actually pick out individual birds. So we do that is this dot bird dot name. We'll set a name variable to it. You should know this because this is not a JS tutorial, it's a phaser tutorial. You should know what this does. But right, and then we can set the name object to index dot to string. So this is going to get this index parameter and then make it to string. So it's going to get the number and then make it to a string, so we can actually access it as a name. Right, then we need to actually enable physics on the bird. So the way we do that is game.physics.enable, and then we'll enable it on the bird, so this.bird, and we'll set phaser.physics.arcade as our physics platform. Next, we want to set some body functions. First one is this.bird.body.immovable equals true. We don't want the actual bird body to be moved by anything. I'll get into that later too. Right, now we need to make it collide with all bounds. We did this before, so this.bird.body.collide all bounds equals true. Right, so that's all done. Next we need to create a tween. Now a tween, we've worked with this in our last tutorial series, where we've tweened the enemies from one side of the screen to the other side. This is kind of the same thing, except it's a lot simpler. So we can make a new variable and call it this.bird_tween, and then we can set it to game.add.tween this.bird. We've did this in the past, so it should be clear. This.bird.to, and then we'll set it to y, this.bird.y plus 25 pixels, and then second parameter the speed, set it to 2000. The type we're gonna set it to linear, and then these last parameters aren't really important, set that to that, and then that's it. We've done with the enemy bird function. Now we can actually initialize our enemy bird function. The way we can do that is go down in our create function, make sure you have this. I should probably get rid of this. Right, so right now we've used this always instead of game.physics. The way we can fix that is actually pass in game through the create parameter. That actually fixes it. So now you can do game.stage.background color, but you can also do this still. So that's just preference, really. It fixes something. Sometimes it doesn't work. So, alright. Next we can go at the bottom of our create class, and then down here we can make a new enemy. But this is very similar to Java. As in making new instances of functions. Right, we'll set the ID to 0, and then the reference to a game is a game, and then the X position we'll just set it to player.x plus 400, and then on the Y axis we'll set it to player.y minus 200. And now if we actually hop into the game, so reset it, there we go, we should have our bird floating up and down. Right now it's not really working well, but we'll fix that in the second tutorial, you'll see why. I want to get more into tweens and details of tweens, but this episode was just to get the basics going and teach you something new. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching and goodbye.